Hello, very good morning. Children, today I will start the new topic and that would be the respiration in organisms. Before this topic, I will take a recapitulation, a revision part, go for the revision part for the last. In the last module, in the last lecture, I have explained the nutrition in the amoeba, nutrition in human beings, and nutrition in ruminant. In the human digestive system, we already completed the human alimentary canal, means digestive system, and in that digestive system, you know that the digestion starts from the mouth, and in our mouth there are 32 teeth. Okay, so in 32 teeth there will be 4 categories: incisor, canine, premolar and molar. Out of these 4 types of teeth, incisor is responsible for cutting, canine is responsible for tearing, and premolar and molars are responsible for grinding the food items. And now, after this, the food enters into the food pipe, where the food is pushed into the stomach through the peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement means rhythmic contraction and expansion through which the food is pushed down into the stomach. And stomach is the widest part, larger pouch-like structure which is helping in the digestion process. In the stomach, digestion of protein is completed, and after that the food is reaching into the duodenum, where the digestion of starch, digestion of proteins done with the help of pancreatic juice and with the help of bile juice. After that duodenum, that part, the food is entered into the small intestine, which is very thin but 18 feet long. And in the small intestine, you have noticed that the food is absorbed with the help of villi, and after this process, this food is entered into the large intestine, where only the absorption of water and mineral is done. Okay, some of you have not completed, then for completion of these topic, I am again going to take that process, take that topic. And in this you have to notice that the bile juice helps in the digestion of fat, and this bile juice is secreted from the liver. Okay, and there is one leaf-like structure, one leaf-like gland, that is called the pancreas, and this pancreas secretes 2 juices, and that is pancreatic amylase and trypsin. So pancreatic amylase helps in the digestion of carbohydrate. What is the other name of carbohydrate? Starch. So the pancreatic amylase is playing a role of the digestion of the carbohydrate and little bit protein also, and this protein is digested by the pancreatic trypsin. Protein is converted into simpler form into peptone with the help of trypsin. And in the stomach, as I told you, that in the stomach there is pepsin. That is why the name of Pepsi Cola, PepsiCo. So pepsin is very much helping in the digestion process. That's why that company is has taken the name of Pepsi Cola. Pepsin, from this enzymes, pepsin role. The pepsin is a type of enzyme present in the stomach, and it digests the protein. So this was the human alimentary canal, digestive system. And after that I completed the nutrition in amoeba. As you know that amoeba is ever-changing shape-size organism, very simple organism, unicellular organism. And the amoeba having only the pseudopodia, and this pseudopodia, which is called false feet, this pseudopodia helps in the capturing the food, catching the food, and these pseudopodia helps in the movement also. So in the amoeba there was no complex system, there was no involvement of the many organs. In the amoeba it is a very simple process that digestion is completed with the help of some enzymes, and then this food is absorbed with the help of food vacuoles, right? And then excretion has been done. And when you are reaching to the ruminants takes the food twice in the buccal cavity in the mouth. There are 4 types of stomach. You must remember that the stomach of cows and buffaloes are with 4 chambers in it. You got my point? There are 4 chambers in the stomach of cows and buffaloes. There is one part of stomach that is called rumen, the first part, which is store the food and again taken back to the mouth, okay, for cutting, tearing. And then reticulum is the second part. Then third is omasum, okay, and the 4th one is abomasum, which is real, the widest, the larger part, that is abomasum, which absorb the food, which helps in the digestion and absorption. So there are 4 parts in the cow's stomach. Why they do this? Because the digestion, for the digestion of cellulose, the bacteria involvement is very, very important, and bacteria is present in the reticulum, in the rumen part, and that is breaking the cellulose into simpler one. So ruminants, they have 4 chambers in their stomach: rumen, reticulum, omasum and abomasum. So these were the 3 parts of nutrition in human amoeba and in the ruminants, right? Today I will start the respiration, another physiology process. In the very first module, I completed the photosynthesis. And you have noticed that photosynthesis is a process in which food is prepared. But in the respiration, it is just opposite to the photosynthesis. What happened in this? In this, food is not produced, but food is utilized. So, this is glucose. And this glucose is utilized, oxidized in the presence of oxygen, and what is formed? Carbon dioxide gas is released and water molecules, and then energy is released. So this is the equation of the respiration. This is opposite to the photosynthesis. And what you are observing that in this, glucose is broken down into carbon dioxide, into water, and energy is released in the presence of oxygen, right? So, in the photosynthesis, what you understand? Photosynthesis, they are giving out oxygen, but here they are utilizing the oxygen. You must be knowing that photosynthesis produces something, but respiration utilizing. The glucose is broken down into the water and carbon dioxide in the presence of oxygen. So it is very much clear that the respiration is giving out the carbon dioxide. Which gas we are releasing out, children? In the respiration, we are releasing out carbon dioxide. There would be experiment when we breathe out, which gas is released out, the percentage of which gas is higher in the breathe out, when we breathe out. Okay, so you have to remember this chemical equation. It is very, very important. Carbon dioxide is released. Which gas is taken in? Oxygen gas is taken in. Right? So when you start the new topic, it is very, very important to understand that topic, the introductory knowledge. For the respiration, you know, in our body there are organs which are involved in the respiration. Like in the corona pandemic disease, which organ is very much affected? The respiratory organ, lungs. We will fail to breathe. There would be problem in the breathing. So our lungs are the main respiratory organ. In the lungs there are very minute, small balloon-like structure, and which is known as alveoli, which is known as air sac, through which we take air in and we utilize the oxygen, and this oxygen is reaching into the blood, and through the blood entire part of body is utilizing the oxygen. So before beginning any topic, you have to clear in your fundamentals, in your basics. Like when I am telling that in the respiration, what is the main difference between, is the breathing and respiration is same or different? So first is, breathing is a physical exercise. Breathing is an external process. In the breathing, we take air in and we give out air. Breathing is external process. Second one is, breathing is air is taken in and air is taken out. In the respiration, breaking of glucose is completed. So both these, breathing and respiration, is very, very much clear. That breathing is only, we take air in and we take our air out. In the breathing, inhalation and exhalation, we take air in and we give air out. It is only, we are calling it breathing. In a breath, we take air in and we give out air. With the help of lungs, we are taking air in and we are giving out air. But on the other hand, the respiration is cellular breakdown. It is internal, and in this cellular respiration, oxygen is taken in, and it is chemical process, you know, the internal complex process in which the glucose is broken down, and in this is happening here. The carbon dioxide, 6 molecule of carbon dioxide, 6 molecule of water is given out and energy is released in this, right? That is why it is very important to write down the differences between breathing and respiration. Now I'm sure that you can write the differences between breathing and respiration. There is no any doubt in your mind, right? You will write the chemical equation for this. This is C6H12O6, then oxygen, then carbon dioxide, then water. Okay. Now, when we are going to start this lecture, you have to write the definition, you have to write the difference between breathing and respiration, you have to write the chemical equation for this process. As you know, every organisms, for their survival, the respiration is very, very important. For that, you have to go to study the types of respiration. Does they respirate in the absence of oxygen? Yes. Some organisms, some like bacteria, they do the anaerobic respiration. Sometimes also in absence of oxygen, when we do the vigorous exercise, excessive exercise, when the batsmen, they are running twos and threes in the cricket, they are doing the anaerobic respiration, very fast process. The muscle contraction is done, muscular cramp is done. When we are doing very fast exercise, the availability of oxygen is less, muscle contraction, muscular fatigue is taken place, and we feel tiredness. So our body require very much oxygen, and for the fulfillment of oxygen we breathe faster. Why we breathe faster? Because at that time, when during the exercise, when we are running, our body require more oxygen for the fulfillment, for the filling this demand. We breathe faster for the fulfillment of the demand of the oxygen. That is why we are breathing faster. And when sometime when we are doing vigorous exercise continuously 2-3 hours, suppose a batsman is striking, knocking the century, making 100 runs, and continuously is running ones and twos and threes, so there will be muscular fatigue. The lactic acid will be deposited in the body. Sometime when you see the matches, when you enjoy the long tennis match, long term, long duration matches, so especially the athlete, the sportsman, there would be muscular fatigue, the tiredness would be there because of the less availability of the oxygen. And what is the treatment? They should take rest, they should walk in the open sky, and they should be given the hot sponging, hot water bath, and after half an hour there would be relaxation for that player. So it is the remedial process, that treating the muscular fatigue when the lactic acid is deposited in the body, right? So for the student of class 7 grade, there is some important things, and today I will again take you towards the differences between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So make another table with me. There would be two differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Okay, aerobic, anaerobic. An is indicating absence. Aerobic, the respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen. So the first difference takes place Clear? It takes place in the presence of oxygen. And here we will write, it takes place in the absence of oxygen. Aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, and anaerobic takes place in the absence of oxygen. Got my first point? The first difference between aerobic and anaerobic, right? And the number 2, complete breakdown of glucose taking place. Complete incomplete breakdown of glucose, not complete, incomplete. Number 3, more energy is released. And here less energy. There are 38 ATP is released out, and in this only 2 ATP is released. So less energy is released. Less energy, only 2 ATP. Okay, so you have to see the difference table also for these. For this, I mean, there would be 3 differences, 2 would be sufficient for you. But if you want to write the difference between aerobic, you have to start that it takes place in the presence of that. This is you know the happening. This is aerobic or anaerobic? When the oxygen is present, it is aerobic respiration. When there is no oxygen in the anaerobic, there would not be requirement of the anaerobic process. Without presence of oxygen, when the respiration is taking place, that is called the anaerobic respiration. And what will be the result in this? That in the anaerobic respiration, the less energy is obtained, and here the more energy is obtained. Children, when you start any topic, you have to see the comparative study of these. Like when I explain the breathing, when I explain the respiration, when I explain the aerobic and anaerobic, you must wait, you must understand that contents, that the basic, the fundamentals should be clear, and then you should start. Take your sufficient revision for these very word, like what is obtained in the respiration very fast, then type of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, what happened in the anaerobic respiration, right? How much energy is released in the aerobic and how much energy is released in the anaerobic respiration process. So before the drawing the diagram of human respiratory system, I mean trachea, bronchus, bronchioles and alveolar sac, it was very important to clear the doubt regarding this chemical equation, because there would be question in the examination that what is the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration, what is the difference between breathing and respiration process. For you, I am just going to tell you that these things are very, very important topic, important step for the completion of the respiration process. Alright, so I am just nearing to my last segment, to my last step, and you know that there would be 4 or 5 questions for the assignment. Okay, So in the next module I will start the human respiratory system diagrams, explanation of respiration in our human respiratory system diagram, and explanation would be covered in the next module, in the next lecture. But before conclusion of this topic, I would like to give you 4-5 questions ready for the assignment. Now, the first question. What is respiration process? So we have to write that the breaking of oxygen in the presence, breaking of glucose in the presence of oxygen is taking place, and the energy is released in this carbon dioxide and water is released in this process. You have to explain in your word that this is the process in which glucose is broken down and the water and carbon dioxide with the energy, it is released out. The three, we are getting the oxygen is utilized, breaking of glucose is taking place, the carbon dioxide and water molecules are given out with the help of energy in the presence of oxygen. So it was number 2. Mention the, write the chemical equation for the respiration process. As I told you that glucose will be broken down in the presence of oxygen to water molecules and carbon dioxide, energy is released out. You have to mention that in the word or in the chemical form you can write, right? Number 3. What is main difference between, what is main difference between breathing and respiration? Okay, as with the help of table you can write that the breathing is external and respiration is internal process, right? Now 4 you can write any two difference between, write any two differences between aerobic and anaerobic process. Okay, so you have to write these 4 questions for the assignment, and in this module you have completed the differences between breathing, respiration, differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. You have completed the equation, chemical equation, and what is the respiration process. Okay, so this was the introductory knowledge for this topic, the respiration in organism, and I am sure that by this module, with the help of these contents, you will start this new topic very well, and I would be meeting in the next lecture. I would be taking next lecture in the next week for this. So till then, bye, take care.